Okay. All right. So this one we're talking about the case study with, I don't remember the name of the case study. Do you?
Yes. I know the name. Let me go to it. Well, I lost it. I did that last. Double clicking, clicking, and clicking and clicking. I know his name was Jeffrey or something. Let's see.
Yeah. They was talking about he had a MySpace page.
Mm-hmm. The name, well, it's called Case Study. Let's see, week 4.
Week 4, case study 2.
Yeah. It's just Jeffrey. I won't say Spienerman. Spienerman.
Yeah, I couldn't say the name either.
Yep. Week 4, Case Study 2. That's what I would call it.
Okay, sounds good to me. So I know it talked about the fact that he had created a MySpace page so he could communicate with his students about lessons and homework and some non-school topics so that he could get to know his students better. And was another colleague that found his page and found what she found to be some disturbing photos, naked photos. And so she talked to him about it and got him to take it down. And then he created another one under a different name, which was wrong in my book. It was wrong. And then she reported it to administration. And so our task is to decide what his rights were, what our role is, and what we think should have happened. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know. In coming from a teacher's perspective, there's a very fine line in my book that comes from keeping your professional and personal lives separate. And last year, I'm going to go start here. Last year, as a coach, I created a Facebook page to communicate with my cheerleaders' parents, to give them updates about when practice was canceled or events came up, what have you. Well, some of the parents did not have pages, so I allowed the girls to get into it. Well, that caused all kinds of drama. So eventually, my administrator advised me to take the page down. So then I got accused of hiding something from my parents. So that caused another whole thing of social drama. So my personal opinion is social media and your students should be completely separate. You should not allow any of your students to be on your page at all for any reason. If you're going to maintain a page of anything on the internet for homework and lesson plans, it should only be based on your school's website.
Yep.
That's my personal opinion. So I'll start there. You can go.
Well, this was kind of tricky because it depends. It depends on your district. Before I got hired, one of the first things that was said in orientation was you cannot accept or speak or talk to any student, period, on social media, period. It is forbidden. You can be fired from it. Or can't be the friends. No. Don't even do it. Okay? With your students. So, and then you got to think about, it doesn't really say, is this a public school or a private school? Because then the rules are different. You got to go based off what your district says before I bring in my personal opinions. I'm going to look at what the facts are. Is this a public school? Is it not a public school? What's the district rules? Before I start saying, hey, is his 14th Amendment or his First Amendment violated? You sign a contract saying you won't do it. As a teacher, I signed a contract. I cannot be on Facebook cussing up a storm in my bathing suit, twerking on the stage, doing all this. I can't do that. I can be fired from it for it. And as teachers, we have to be mindful of the ramifications that can follow from like online personal expressions that students can see. We had a teacher who took a picture in her lingerie.
Oh.
And the students were passing the picture around school.
Not cool.
she, of course, they can't tell us what happened, but she came out of the office crying, and she was like, it was my public page and this, and this. But I mean, your coworkers and your employees and your students have access to you. Of course, every student goes in and they put their teacher's real name in to go and look at your Facebook page because they just want to know that you're a real person outside of school. So, you know, one of the questions that they ask is at the bottom, they ask us, did the conduct involve an expression protected by First Amendment? I don't see how there would ever even be an argument about his First and 14th Amendment because, like, this is so dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, this is so dangerous. Kids put stuff up. Like, you are lucky that you're not getting arrested. Like, there's naked pictures and you got kids. There's so many different outlets that you can use for homework. We have a haiku page. I don't know if y'all have that in y'all's district. We have Google Classroom, which pretty much is like a Facebook kind of.
And you got Edmodo. That's a class. That's a.
There's all of these different. There's group me's. I use that with my cheerleaders. Parents, kids are all in it. I can take stuff down. I can see. You can see who it comes from, and their parents can see it.
Right.
I mean, there's so many different avenues that he could have taken. And why is it that serious that you got to go make another one? Like, you've been warned.
Yeah, that was my thing. He got warned, he took it down, and then he was crazy enough to go and do it again under another name and then put naked pictures up. To me, he knew he was doing something wrong.
Yes.
And he voluntarily did it. I mean, and then if you look in our book on page 99, it says teachers are role models. We are role models for our students. I don't want that type of role model for my kid.
Yeah. Why are you wanting to talk to them so bad on Facebook about stuff that's not school related? What is the addiction? Why do you want? You're an adult.
That's my question too. I agree with you wholeheartedly. What is it that you are so intrigued about that they're doing?
And then you can argue that other teachers have Facebook pages and they talk to people. You talk to people's parents on Facebook. I've talked to people's parents, adults on Facebook.
Adults.
But when you're talking about somebody's child, you can't bring in First Amendment for 14th Amendment. You're talking about somebody's child.
You're talking about a minor.
Yeah, a minor. I mean, just because it's free speech, don't mean I'm going to go on TV and talk nasty or sexually or inappropriately about a child. Oh, I can say what I want to say. No.
And that's that fine line that I said, professional and personal. I mean, you can't cross that line, and you have to know where to do it. I mean, yes, his rights say that he has the freedom of speech and he has the right to be able to do what he wants to on his personal time.
Mm-hmm. But you have to include other people.
But you have to be able to realize that those are other people's children.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to respect that line. And if you aren't going to do that and be that role model, then you were in the wrong.
Students get in trouble all the time about cyberbullying and putting stuff on their page about other people. Like, students and teachers, they both have free speech and free rights, but it's not unrestricted. You know what I mean? Like, there are limitations to that. Mm-hmm. Potentially, it's too much. Mm-hmm. When you pull up something like that, and once there's drama, like you did, there's too much drama, I'm taking it down.
Right.
Because potentially you can be blamed for something, like for unprofessional rapport with students.
Right.
You can be said something came put up and somebody put it down, or a kid can get on there and start talking sexually about another kid. Right. Some kid can come on and threaten another kid, or talk about somebody in cheerleading practice, or so-and-so copy something. Did you see the pants that so-and-so had on? What if you have a bullying instance on your page? You don't even get to see. Some kids post so much, it could be way down at the bottom, and you just didn't even see it. You know what I mean? I mean, nobody's saying don't communicate with your students and don't get to know your kids on a personal, talk to them. How about that? How about have a conversation? How about have a brain break? I give my kids every 30 minutes, I give them a brain break. I'll pull up something, they'll watch a funny video, they can relate to it. Homeroom, We talk about social issues. We talk about bullying. There is time. Lunch, you can talk to them at lunch. I mean, and like I said, Google Classroom, Edmodo, there's other ways and avenues that you can, there's clubs and activities in school. There's other ways that you can communicate and get to know your kid. Ask them a question. Make it a word problem. Ask them how they can relate. There's so many other avenues that this teacher could have taken. And you're not that kid's friend. You're their teacher. You're not their peer. And it's disruptive. It's disruptive to the learning atmosphere. There's no other way. Because that's all they're talking about. Did you see what so-and-so put on the so-and-so page? Did you see so-and-so's put on so-and-so's page? Did you see, it's just, to me, it's disruptive. Maybe he started it with a good heart, with good intentions. But once you see that something inappropriate or it's getting out of hand, then you got to find another avenue.
You got to be able to back away and quit. But something happened, and he got addicted to it way too much.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even, like you said, I don't even see where the 5th or the 14th Amendment would be anything, because it talks about in our book, it talks about how it's due process.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, once he put those pictures up, the evidence was there.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of looking at when we're talking about the substantive. I can never say it.
Don't feel bad. I slaughtered those words today too.
Well, the P one, procedural. They protect the individuals from coercive power of government by ensuring adjudication process under valid laws, making sure that they're fair. Pretty much that you're not being, I guess, micromanaged. I want to say. I don't see where that falls. He's just not understanding that you just can't do it. Did you sign a contract saying that you won't do that? I feel like there's some more information that we would need to know.
Right. I feel like what we were given as far as the amount of information to go on is kind of vague. So we can't make a complete conclusion on it. All we can base it on is the fact that, one, he was warned, and then he knowingly did it again and put up naked pictures and still continue to communicate. So just based on the amount of information we were given, he knowingly did it as an adult, and he knew he was crossing a line, and he was doing it with minors.
Yeah, and as far as the substantive due process, pretty much it prohibits the federal and state governments from depriving any person of life, liberty, property. That doesn't apply either. When I think about that, I think people being denied some kind of right because of something personal. If, let's say, he was, no, I probably wouldn't say that. When you say he decides, how is he being deprived his life, liberty, or property in this situation? I mean, I guess nobody's saying you can't have a Facebook page. We're saying you can't communicate with minors on Facebook.
Right. I mean, nobody's saying he can't have his personal life. We're just saying there's that line of professional versus personal, and he can't let those two pieces cross.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't see where that's an issue either. I don't think any of his rights are being violated or taken away. I just see it as a point that he didn't utilize his rights wisely.
Yeah, as far as procedural due process, the government's not saying you can't have a Facebook page. They're saying there's limits to that. And it don't matter if you're a teacher or anybody. No, I don't want no adult that I don't know talking to my child, period.
Right.
On Facebook, on your book, on her book, anything. No, they're not saying that you can't have a Facebook. Principals have Facebooks. But they also don't have children all up and down their timeline posting inappropriate memes. And I mean, you can't control click and what people put on. People have tried to put stuff on my page. I went right into my privacy setting, and I'm able to approve every single thing before it goes to my page. Because I'm held accountable for the way I look.
Right.
And what's on.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think what I would like to know, some questions before? Like, I'd want to know, like, schools saying that you can lose your job. Is this private school? Is it public school? I'd like to know what happened to them. Like, what it, what did they say would happen to you if you did? Did you get a warning, or do you just get fired? Did you get suspended? You know what I mean? Like, did it affect the school environment? Like, does it make because a lot of things that the teachers do, for example, when I worked at a school a couple years ago, and a substitute teacher, he had a weapon in his car, but he also has a license for it,
Right.
to carry one. No, he had a license, but he couldn't conceal it. He had to show it, something like that. But anyway, he forgot it was in his car. A kid went to the car and tried to break in his car and get the gun. Oh, the news was everywhere. A teacher brought a gun to school. Oh, a teacher did this, and the teacher brought a gun to school, and a gun on the campus. I mean, it was all over the news. The teacher's face was all over the place, blah, blah, blah. I mean, all over the news. Like, just like he was this evil person, and that school has to be so bad because now the teachers are bringing guns, not just the students. The teachers bringing guns to school now. But it wasn't really like that. This could be a situation where you're making the school look bad. Like, the teachers are so unprofessional. They talking to the kids online. They do this, they do that. You know, you are making you represent your school when you're out there. So you shouldn't go out and badmouth in your school. You shouldn't be doing anything that makes yourself or the school look bad. So it's easier to get rid of you than to have to get rid of a whole lot, they can say, hey, we got rid of that teacher, than us sitting here trying to defend you and you making us look bad.
Right.
What did I do? Oops, sorry.
Saw your picture.
My picture gone?
Then it came back.
Okay, I clicked the button.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's a lot of unanswered questions to be able to make a real conclusion for this case. But I mean, I think it really boils down to if we just look at what we were given and based on what we read in our book and the chapters, we're only looking at that part. I think the best case scenario that we could say is that the rights aren't violated. He was warned by a colleague, hey, before this gets too far, you might want to take this down. He did listen, but then apparently the addiction of what he was involved in was too much. He recreated it under another name. He went so far to put up naked pictures, and then it was brought to the administration's attention. So now the administration is involved, and the administration has to make a call and say, this is what we're going to do now. We're going to take action. Either have to take it down, but then that comes back into play with the questions that you just asked. Now we have to find out, did you sign a paper when you signed your contract? What was the county policy? Because now I don't see where we can make any kind of conclusion because you don't know what he signed or didn't sign with county.
Well, it went to court, so I'm assuming he ain't a job.
Right.
So he oh man, my brain just went crazy. Even if he didn't he's not the one placing inappropriate things on the website. So if the kids are, you still own it. If the child is put something up, a funny meme, or somebody moons somebody and it's a picture of somebody's hind end, you own the page.
You created the page, you still run it, you control what you allowed up there and what you didn't allow up there. So you, as the adult, you're still the one in control.
And that's what I think is we have to look at what the safety of the children first.
Right.
Like for 7 hours, you are the guardian. You have to look at their safety and take yourself out of the equation. You can't talk to the kids on Facebook. Find another avenue.
Find some other way to communicate with them if you need to talk to them after school hours.
There's nothing wrong with Edmodo.
Nope.
Nothing wrong with Google Classroom.
Right.
You could have said, hey, but we understand you want to get to know them on another level. Ask the kids. They know everything.
Yeah, they know more than we do.
Yeah, we could do this. Oh, we can't do this. We could. What's up? What's wrong with the old pen pal? Write somebody. But I got a mailbox in my class. You want something? You got something that you want me to to talk about in school and to implement in my lesson, put it in my mailbox. I can read. Go old school. I at the end of the day, I need my job. I need to eat. I got to pay bills. And once you get fired as a teacher, it's very hard, I promise, to get another one.
Oh,
and we don't put all this time in. We don't invest it in education. We'd have to start all the way over. And even if you try to go to another profession, they want to know, why'd you get let go? What happened? Mm-hmm. Is it worth your career? Is it worth all of this?
You're right.
Yeah. He was up to no good, I think.
I think you're right. I agree.
All right. I think we did pretty good.
I think so. All right. So I'll get these converted to YouTubes and send them to you.
Okay.
It'll probably say coming from Andrew Ramirez. That's my fiance. So it'll come from his account.
Ooh, Ramirez. Woo, fiance. Okay. Well, you label them whatever they are, because last time I accidentally posted the wrong Zoom to the wrong.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Bye.
See you later. Bye.